Hi everyone, this is Bic Benedict. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 2 on Master Ninja difficulty. This is Chapter 6, the Lycanthropes Castle. This is a long video because the Test of Valor is one of those 45-minute ones, but I will be taking you through it. You'll also recall that I got the chest down at the base of this temple over here. I got it in the last level. For me, it was a $50,000 orb, since I already have a Talisman of Rebirth. This is another Talisman of Rebirth, but if you already have one, like I do, it's going to give you $50,000, so it's a nice start for this level. You know, those two orbs, that's $100,000 total. So over here, we have some ghost fish, and since I only had incendiary shurikens, I just decided to throw them at those guys. A little bit later on, I'm going to be charging attacks and getting more money from the ghost fish. So we have several waves of water demons before we get to the save point. I think maybe it's only one wave, but we have three total waves, two of which are after the save point. And what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to deal with the water demons without having to actually fight them melee style. And I wasn't able to incorporate it in my guide last time, and that was a shame. But now, since I'm doing this guide again, it's my pleasure to do so, and it's also something that I find even more relevant to put more data. Let people know more information. So. It's best because you can do a guide and it'll have a lot of information, but there's things that you wish you had done differently. So that's one of the appeals of doing this guide the second time. As much as I love playing it too, it's one of the best games of all time. So we have some water demons over here. They're going to spawn when you land on the other side here. So just fall back and I'm just going to blind fire arrow UTs at these guys, and I'm not going to look at them. When I'm not looking at them, they're not shooting their green projectiles at me, which don't really hurt too much, but you don't want to get stunned by those because they're mostly a tool that the water demons use to stun you and then launch one of their combos at you, which will kill you. They are one of the hardest enemies in this game, if not the hardest. What I'm doing here is I'm listening for the sound of that dissipating noise, meaning the enemies are burning up and just vaporizing from the environment. I think it might be a different sound for the fiends, for the non-fiends. I'm not really sure about that, but so now we have some ghost fish. The essence over there is pointless. Unless you don't have any, but okay, here's where I shoot one, and then I think I get bit maybe, but then I get in some really good charges. I think all the charges right there, I think that amount of essence right there is probably about 7,000 in essence, so it's really good, rather than just slashing at them and getting like 50 per kill. Now we're going to go over to the save point. And I did fall off over here. I see if you can finally get it. I'll let you try to find it, and then comment, and I'll let you know if you found it correctly. But it happens to the best of us, even though we are master ninjas. So, okay, so nothing else until the save point. Go over here, activate the save, and now we have 2 sessions with water demons. Just listen for them. They make a very distinct and terrifying growling sound. Wind path off their heads for iframes, and then come on back over here, and I'll show you how to snipe these guys and get our 1,050 per kill. So it's not only good that we're not taking any damage and not getting potentially killed by these guys, but we're also getting 1,050 per kill. And it's gonna this tactic that I'm showing you is gonna come in extremely handy on the section after you defeat the drunken skeleton, because as many of you know who watched my guide before, I was conveying my frustration and my anger towards the people who made this game, who made a really great game, but they there's a lot of oversights, especially on these mid-level bosses, where if you die after you defeat a mid-level boss, you have to refight the mid-level boss, which is unacceptable. Excuse me. It's unacceptable and inexcusable, and it's just bad gameplay design. Anyway, so also these water demons, they'll get kind of trapped. See the columns to the left of the doorway? There's a guy over there not knowing where to go because he ended up over there. I think he went through the wall because there's no way for him to get over there. Otherwise, it's not an area that's accessible to us. And also, about 3 times out of 4, you're going to get water demons who are chasing you. And then once you get over to your vantage point, you may notice that there's water demons down below. And that's actually what happened over here. It's why some lag kicked in, because the game wasn't accounting for that. Anytime you do something that the game isn't really expecting, and I'm not dissing the game whatsoever, it's just that I think that whoever made this game, they made it so that like whatever battle you're doing, you're not going to get any lag, except if you do things like if you go somewhere else and fight the battle, or if you trigger other enemies, then you're going to get some lag. So it's not bad at all. This game is really good. It was optimized for this console, and it's a great system. Great system and a great game. Well, maybe not the system so much, but the game is damn good. So I'm going to jump over here, and then blind fire. It takes 2 arrow UTs to kill 1 water demon. You notice the lag right there. That's because I have water demons down below, and I wasn't disposed to fight these guys. What I wanted to do was just go back to the save point and move on, because jumping down there can be suicide. But what actually happened was I accidentally fell off. So, and then once I got into the water, it was me versus the water demons, and it happens right over here. See the guys running down there? What you need to do if you accidentally fall down, or if you just want to go down there and fight them, probably you should save it first. But if they kill you after you save it, they'll probably unspawn. So that's something you have to be aware of. See, total accident. And then I knew right away that I had better equip the Gatling spear gun and surface, and then start firing. This tool is very good for not receiving any damage and just killing these guys in a very rapid manner. So anyway, I'm going to speed the next section of footage up because I didn't plan on coming down here. Anyway, oh yeah, it's very crucial for you to buy arrows. Not only to do the sniping in this section, but we're not going to be able to come back to any store once you clear the the drunken skeleton, and you're going to need projectiles. So make sure you have 30 ISs, incendiary shurikens, and make sure you also have 30 arrows. It's very important. I can't tell you how important that is, so I'm telling you now so you don't forget. This Jewel of the Demon Seal, I'm going to apply this to the Art of the Inferno. If you have the Art of the Inferno up to level 3, the Test of Valor is a lot more doable, trust me. I actually had to restart this chapter over to make that application to the Inferno, because I had done it for the Wind Blades, and then I actually got to where the Test of Valor was, and the Test of Valor never activated, and I knew the reason was probably because I was doing things out of sequence that I didn't like. But I went on the internet to look into that phenomenon, and it happens to other people. It wasn't just unique to me. So what happens is you go over to the area where the Test of Valor is, and then it's supposed to glow at a certain point and go into activation status. But it never went into that status, and I knew damn well, because you could also do the Test of Valor right before you fight Wolf. But I didn't want to press forward, which was a longer journey, than to start over, which was a shorter journey. So I pretty much knew that if it wasn't going to activate right when it's supposed to, there's not any chance that it's going to. So really bad situation here. We have another bad situation coming up in the form of the boss. I don't really mind the boss anymore. I've gotten really good at him. I have a good strategy. In fact, when I did this guide before a few months ago, I got a lot of people commenting on the Chapter 6 video and telling me that the strategy that I recommended and did in the guide really helped them out. It's not an aggressive strategy, but it's a really safe way to kill the guy and get a lot of iframes and get a lot of money too. So if you don't know the genesis of the word drunken skeleton, I'll just briefly mention it. It was because the creative director of this game apparently was either drunk or pretending to be drunk during the motion capture of his person, and hence that's where the anecdote stems from. It was just Miyamoto either being drunk or feigning drunkenness, and that's where it got its name. So it's just kind of just like an underworld name for it. So here's the guy. One of the issues about this guy is that you have a constant problem of the bone scorpions who are always around. There was one time when I did this that I killed them all and they stopped spawning, but I think it was an atypical situation that isn't intended to occur. I'm not really sure, but basically we're just kind of doing chip damage on this guy. I'm using the Inferno to not only deal it's a fairly modest amount of damage. Sometimes when he falls down and you cast it, you'll damage him even more. But you see right here, I was hitting him with a lot of strong, fierce attacks with the Y button, but those scorpions were getting in my way. So when I mention chip damage, I mean it's not really advisable to do UTs on this guy, but the flame finishing move right there on the lunar, it'll strike him and deal good damage, and you can get a lot of money from these kills too. I think I get killed right here. That's why you need a Talisman of Rebirth. There is no shortage of them in the beginning of this chapter, so there's no reason you shouldn't have one. He does, see that kick that he does? He likes to go on jags where he kicks 2 or 3 times. He does like a sweeping motion with his arms too. You really have to watch out for that. But there's a lot of room to work with in this area down here, in this catacombs. There's also, he also does, it's not an attack. What it is that towards the end of the battle when he's low on health, he'll just stand there and do nothing. And that's a really good chance to hit him. And also, he likes to, like, bend down, grab some bones, and kind of like have them cascade through his fingers, and he's like, just playing with them, occupied, kind of like a child. And that's a really good opportunity to go over to him and just massacre him. But the problem is with these bone scorpions as lackeys, you could never get in as much hits as you want to. Right here, I didn't want to do that UT. There was a lot of essence around it. It did it for me, I think. Another problem is that when he falls down, you're really not given hardly any time to hit him. So you really have to get on him when he's down and just go over to him and really quickly press the Y button as much as you can, like I'm doing right now. But you see how the scorpions are getting in my way, so I needed to cast the Inferno to give myself some iframes. See right here, he's just standing there. And I wish I could take advantage of that more, but you can't because these scorpions. What else to say about this boss? Try to beat this boss with. You may need some healing items in the next part. So try to do as best as you possibly can. And just throw. You're not going to need any Nympho, so freely use that to give yourself iframes and to damage the boss. Looks like he fell down again. Didn't have enough time to go over to him, so I'm just going to keep chipping at his health, and then just doing the Y attacks, and he's all gone. Okay, so after the drunken skeleton falls here, remember that there's no checkpoint, no saving anything until you get to the scaffolds up top where the castle is. We have 3 more sessions with water demons, but I'm going to take you through this the best way I know how and the safest way, because you do not want to face these water demons. They will maul you. Trust me. At full health, at my full health, they would kill me with one of their combos. The combo that ends with the tail slash, which is unblockable. So here I'm blind firing, just like I did before when we were in the water sanctuary. I'm just listening for when they die and waiting for my essence to come to me, and then if it's not coming to me, I'm dragging it towards me with holding down Y just long enough so that I don't charge an attack, but so long that I drag the essence over to me. So you have to be very, very cautious. You don't want to refight the bone dragon, or excuse me, the drunken skeleton again. You just don't want to. So I'll be showing you how to minimize any peril that you might get into. There's 2 treasure boxes. This one had a money drop. The other one has well, it doesn't. It's random, but the other one it had for me. In the next one, it had the bats. But don't worry, you can freely open the chest because all you need to do is equip the lunar. But once you touch down over here on this platform, you need to fall back and then charge attacks. Charge your arrow UTs. So we have one more sessions. We have another session after this with 3 more water demons, but they're not going to come out until you deal with the bone scorpions. The bone scorpions are going to be a big problem, just because we need to get to the area where we can ascend to the scaffolds and save our data. This is always a nightmare for me because, as I mentioned before, I think my Xbox freezes on a daily basis, and I would rather that it didn't freeze in any part like this where I have nothing to fall back on. So there is and there isn't an infinite amount of bone scorpions, and I'll explain what that means since it sounds a little curious. Provided you don't fall from these platforms to the base of the the catacombs where we fought the drunken skeleton. As long as you clear all these waves, and like I said, don't fall down, these waves will never replicate. But if you fall down and have to make your way all the way back up here, you're going to have these guys spawn indefinitely, and that might seem like a good thing if you want a lot of money, but I don't grind for money when I don't have a checkpoint to fall back on, and these situations here are just so dangerous with these bone scorpions, who, if you don't give them the proper amount of respect, they can really tear you up if you just be complacent and think that they're not harmful enemies. They really are. They take away a lot of damage, and if a bunch of them group up on you, you'll be dead before you even know it, and then you're back to fighting the drunken skeleton. Another thing I don't like about these bone scorpions is that some of them hang on top of the ceiling right there. See those guys? That makes me a little uncomfortable. I don't want them to drop on me or drop that acid on me, and I don't like how, see these guys, they don't move. They'll come to a certain point and then they'll just stop. Kind of irritates me, because what happens is I get a charge off and then sometimes it doesn't connect. But the important thing to know about this area is that once you get further into this cave, that last session of the water demons is going to spawn. What I did want to mention about the water demons is that there are only 3 sets of 3. Even if you fall all the way down to the base of the catacombs, you're never going to have to refight any water demons, which is really nice. But I am going to have to refight the first wave of bone scorpions in that doorway, because technically I went over to this area, and the game considered me going over to this area falling off. And since I revisited that platform with the first wave of the bone scorpions, now I have to refight the wave. And I would not recommend like trying to charge your way through any of the waves, because they're going to gang up on you and just kill you. It's that simple. So here's me going back over here now, and here is the wave once again. Got to clear all these guys again. But a reason in the beginning of this video, I told you that you needed arrows, and the arrows are not really handy here, but they are handy for sniping the water demons over here. And I also told you to stock up on incendiary shurikens. It's just because I like throwing the incendiary shurikens at the guys on the ceiling. And any bone scorpions across a platform that I'm not on can just be killed with an incendiary shuriken, so it's nice to have those. So this should be nearing the first wave here. There are 3 distinct platforms, each with their own waves of bone scorpions. So that wave is cleared on this platform. I'm just calling this a platform. So I got bats. See how I'm just continually tapping the Y button? No peril whatsoever. You're never going to get even hurt one bite from those bats. So in this section of the cave, this is the second group of spawners. So these guys can all be taken out. Once we get to the next platform, it was my mistake to because you're going to see me fall off, and the reason I fell off, well, you're not going to see that because I edited it out. Since this is such a source of frustration, I just wanted to lay things bare and show you exactly what you need to do in order for this to not mess up on you. So, okay, so you see how in this first area everything's clear, so nothing's ever going to spawn over here unless we fall off. And I actually did fall off trying to, because I jumped over here. By the way, you can just jump all the way and you'll kind of hang off, and you have to pull yourself up. What my mistake was that I tried to fly swallow back onto the other platforms so I could throw incendiary shurikens at these guys. You can make that dash across, but it's hard to do. Okay, so just very systematically take these guys out. This little section's clear. Now we need to throw daggers at these guys if we can. Failing that, we'll just have to kill them with regular attacks to take them out. We're not going to have anybody spawning behind us since we cleared everybody. So that's why you don't want to do a mad dash. A mad dash is going to get you killed. And see that? If you didn't have projectiles there, how the hell would you do that? It's just... you need projectiles here. So this is the third and final platform area. So we're just going to be taking all these guys out and just do very fast attacks with this lunar. Throw daggers. If you need Nimpo, go for it. I had Nimpo, but I didn't want to use any Nimpo just in case someone who was struggling saw me using it and then just couldn't base a strategy off that. So that's why I'm abstaining from using Nimpo. So more guys up here. Gonna take these guys out, fall back if I have to, charge my attacks. So once things are all laid bare and you know exactly what's going on, it's not as maddening, what's the word? Frustrating. But look, that's all of them, except for this one last wave. It can get really frustrating if like you fall off and then come back up here and to do this every single time. But just get it done right the first time, and then it's all fine, because You're not going to have to worry about enemies continually spawning on you. It's just that one spawn and then that's it. So that may have been the last batch of enemies. Just remember not to fall off here. That would be disastrous. And now we have a save point coming up, and then we can move on to the next area. Okay, we escaped perdition. Now we're going to go over to the save point and take advantage of that. You can't go through the door yet. You have to go up here and do the do your shopping, get your grains of spiritual life. I actually had 3, so with this chest up here, it's going to give me 7,000 in essence. And then come down here, and then we're going to have a cutscene, which I believe I trimmed out. No, I'm sorry, I forgot to do that. That happens sometimes. But anyway, they usually place you like right here. Then what you want to do is like dash towards the wall and then build up your UT. And then once all these guys are killed, go over to the save point, and then we're going to be facing a bunch more of these guys and some water demons. So once you save it, I like to jump down here, and I don't even bother looking, since I know that there's ample time if you get it on landing charge. And since I just saved it, there's no risk. So this was quite a bold move on my part. I just kind of fell back and charged, but since I know these enemies so well, there is risk and there isn't. I mean, they kind of just run up to you and just stand there. It's kind of crazy, but it's also crazy how I killed all those guys. Anyway, I did go back and save it just because I wanted to have a fair fight with these guys. If there's like 3 of them, I don't really mind it too much. It looks like there's 4 here. See, I got that parry. That was a good counterattack. That was a square parry. The square parry works a lot better. I was just fighting these guys more recently at the end of this level. That slash you really got to watch out for. These guys are so deadly. XXY is an automatic delim. It's really good. So if you just want to press XXY on a lot of these guys, that'll be your ticket to victory sometimes. But we have another session with the blood red water demons, and then we're gonna have a long scenario with demon bats and flying demons, and then the other iterations of the water demons that have less HP. The reason I know they have less HP is because you see that Azuna drop didn't kill that. See the Azuna drop I just did on that guy? I didn't kill that guy. It takes 2 Azuna drops to kill one of these water demons, even with the blade at level 3. The other guys, they're like light brown in color. I think they're the male versions. I never could get close enough to tell if they had tits like these ones do. But charge your attack. I didn't reach the tripwire point right there. Just charge your attack, and then you see these guys. No, they look like female. Yeah, they're females too. Like I guess they're just another skinned version of them, but they're definitely easier. So this part here, the last time I did this guide, I figured it out how to do this part. I wasn't looking at anyone's guide or anything. Wow, that was close. That was a close call right there. But I just have a good technique for dealing with this section. It's efficient, it's safe, and it'll get you a lot of money. So what you do is equip the arrows. There's an infinite supply of arrows, and just kill one bat at a time. Every time you kill a flying demon, you're going to have a water demon come rushing at you from down the stairs. So check this out. It happens every single time. Now, if you kill 2 flying demons, you're going to have 2 of the water demons coming down the stairs. It just depends on how many you kill. Although there is one occurrence towards the end of this whole wave where even if you kill 1 mutant flying demon in the air, you're going to have 2 runners coming down the stairs anyway. So I'm not really sure how that works, but it just might be some kind of a way to compensate for the numbers or something that the game does. Okay, the reason I had no runner come down there was because I don't believe I killed anybody, but now one's going to come. You can just guarantee, just take it for granted that someone's going to be running down the stairs. They might be a little late for the party over here, but they'll come. They will definitely come, and I don't like that, missing the charge. This really pisses me off, but anyway, this is a good spot to stand. You might get hit by a fireball once or twice, but it doesn't take much damage from you. So there we go, another 1,050 in my essence supply of money. And then I'm going to be taking you through the test of Valor. Presently, it's not as well. It did not take me as many tries as the previous test of Valor did with all the dogs and the lichens, but it made me waste like every single item I had, and I did not move on in my campaign, saving my data and reflecting the fact that I used every single life of the gods. It's really it's kind of cheap, and a lot of, well, I'll talk about it when we get there. Well, I guess I should talk about it now since there's, we're doing the same thing over and over here, but everybody I talk to, they're warning me about the rocket launcher guys. Oh yeah, they're also, it's kind of funny because like when I started playing this game, it's like everybody was warning me, hey, watch out, the IS ninjas spam incendiary shurikens, and I'm like, I know, you don't have to tell me that, but compared to some of the other enemies, I would rather fight a big pack of IS ninjas than water demons, or the marionettes, or the rocket launcher guys in the test of Valor. Nobody warned me about the marionettes, and nobody warned me about the water demons. They're harder enemies, in my opinion. But anyway, people were warning me about that the rocket launchers. They weren't really warning me directly, but in a lot of videos, caution was given about the rocket launcher guys. They're not as much of a threat as the marionettes are. The marionettes will almost kill you in one hit with their attacks. Not every single one of their attacks, but that javelin spin that they do across the arena, it kills you. It depends on your health. You'll get killed outright, and you'll have to use the Talisman of Rebirth if you want to stand a chance in that trial. It's damn hard. But it did not take me as many attempts. There was one point where I killed every single enemy except one marionette, and then I was going in for the final kill, and she hit me. 45 minutes of work just gone down the drain because of that cheapness of one of those enemies. But looks like we're almost at the end of this wave here. If you want to save it, go for it. But I have a way of dealing with the situation ahead. Oh yeah, the reason I had to restart this chapter is because I did these sequences out of order, and the game didn't like the sequence in which I did them, so the Test of Valor never activated. So I had to restart this chapter and redo that drunken skeleton boss fight again, because I got to the save point and it should have been glowing, and it never activated, and I knew it wouldn't ever activate. And I knew if because you could access the Test of Valor even if you pass it up, and then you could do it right before Wolf again. You have two opportunities to do the Test of Valor, but I was pretty much certain that if it wasn't activating originally, then it's not going to. So I might as well just start the level over. But yeah, that's why this video has been being delayed so long, and also an upload of this size. Any upload that's about 8 to 10 gigabytes takes at least a day to upload to YouTube, and then at least 24 hours. And it also takes like 1 to 2 hours to process. So even though it's uploaded, it still takes time for YouTube to process it. But we're going to go to the Test of Valor. And so get prepared for that, but also get prepared for this little last trick that the game does by having these guys come down at you. Just take them out with Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fangs, UTs. You should be able to get them all in one hit, and then save it. Okay, Test of Valor number 4. It's on this chapter that we're on currently, chapter 6. We have 50 rocket launchers to slay, and then 50 marionette demons. XXY will stun these guys. It takes 3 XXYs to put them into. Well, actually, excuse me. They do not go into OT status. Definitely come here with the Inferno up to level 3, because you can kill. I don't believe that one Inferno will directly kill the marionette demons, but it will kill the rocket launcher enemies. So XXY, it stuns them, and then you have to you see that? I wasn't guarding right there, so I got damaged significantly. The marionettes are by far more dangerous. I mean, they will twirl across the screen in like a spear attack and hit you, and depending on your health, you will be dead. I go through all of my items here to do this test of Valor, which took me far fewer tries than the previous test of Valor, but it was no less frustrating, especially when I got to have one marionette. I killed 99 enemies, but I had that one damn marionette left, and she slashed at me, and I got killed. So, okay, what you want to do here is use all of your Inferno right away, and then make sure you apply the Spirit of the Devils before you use your Talisman of Rebirth, because there's no sense of getting revived by the Talisman of Rebirth and it only giving you 3 when it could give you 4, because one Inferno is going to take out 3. So if you have 3 slots in your key gauge, that's going to take out 3 times. That would be 9. And then if you have 4 slots in your key gauge, 4 flames in your key gauge, that is, you're going to take out 12 enemies. And the more the more essence you collect. This is mostly about luck, because you know that old saying, "There's no accounting for luck." There's not any here. You can't account for if you're going to get lucky and get more Nimpo drops. You know, the Nimpo Essence, the red Nimpo Essence. Like, if you get a lot of those drops, your victories are going to increase exponentially here, because Nimpo is power here. Okay, so take out these guys with XXY. And if you see a marionette, what you don't want to be doing is hitting a rocket launcher enemy in the vicinity of the marionette. So you see them, you go to the other side of the screen, or you just go somewhere to the other rocket launcher enemy. So right here, I'm just applying all my items, and watch out for that attack. Really have to be careful. This is, I mean, okay, so spoiler alert, the reward for doing this is a Lives of the Thousand Gods, but there's no way I'm going to save my data after this and continue with my campaign in view of the fact that I had to use 4 Lives of the Thousand Gods and all 9 of my Life of the Gods just to get 1 Lives of the Thousand Gods. It's counterproductive. I'm not doing that. I just wanted to do these trials, get the achievement, have them incorporated in my guide, just so I could help people to beat them if they want to beat them, because you don't have to do these, they're completely optional. But I like to do things. I like to do everything in the game. So, I mean, some of the tests of Valor are not as... a lot of them are just so laborious, and just require so much... just doing the same thing over and over again. When you're casting the Inferno, you don't have to aim it. It'll target 3 enemies anyway. It's just that when you aim it, you're selecting whom you want to hit with the Inferno. I would say aim for the marionettes. It's better to get them out of the way than the rocket. See that attack? That's brutal. But that was not a... They could do even more hits with that. Trust me. Also, it's very imperative to have 30 arrows so we can start sniping the marionettes when these rocket launcher enemies are out of the way. Unfortunately, the incendiary shurikens have no function here whatsoever, because we're dealing with metallic enemies, and the incendiary shurikens just bounce off of these guys. But it's kind of ironic that like arrows would work, though, considering that. So here I'm just using all my Lives of the Thousand Gods. A lot of people will say that this is the hardest test of Valor. I think it's... For me, it wasn't as hard as the previous... I mean, this only took me several hours, but the previous test of Valor with the dogs and the wolverines, that took me like 10 hours of just off and on, every... Like an hour would be my session limit, and then I would just, come back to it another time. But I know there was at least 10 sessions of 45 minutes to an hour of trying to do that last trial. So if you're getting worried that this is like the hardest trial, it depends on the individual. It's not going to just be the hardest trial just because some people say that it is. Anyway, so yeah. definitely always scrutinize the environment and look for the Yellow Essence drops. It's kind of a bad. You see the environment, the little, like the orange glowing things on the. I know this is probably something that everybody gets confused by. The little orbs in the background, those little circular orange things. I always get confused that those are the red essence drops, and I always get false hopes, like a mirage in the desert, like a pool of water in the desert when you're dying of thirst. It's the same situation here. This is war here, pure out war. But we're gonna survive, and we're gonna be warriors. Okay, so yeah, you see how I toss in it takes 2 Infernos to kill those bitches. Sorry to swear, but okay, just make sure you're guarding when you get these guys stunned, and then it's just kind of frustrating when you're pressing XXY and these guys, and then you're getting interrupted while pressing it because the rockets from the other machines are spewing their rockets at you. A lot of people also say that this is cheap and it see that bullshit. That's so bad right there. A lot of people say that this doesn't require skill. It does require managing your inventory and stuff like that, but there are some aspects of it that are, I mean, if you're getting a lot of essence drops, you're in really good hand. You're in really good shape. So, yeah, for me, the rocket launchers, I found no problems with the rocket launchers. It was just the marionette demons, killing all them, because you don't want to fight the marionettes with rocket launchers. So you really need to kill the rocket launcher enemies first. I mean, they have a lot less HP than the marionette demons, and they're not going to damage you as much as those demons do. Those gals that look like spiders. They're just more the rocket launchers are just more intimidating because you think that they would damage you more because they have guns. But this really reminds me of Ninja Gaiden 3. It's getting so much chip damage, it's not funny. But this game is still not even as bad as that game on this game's worst day. It's still a masterpiece compared to that piece of shit Ninja Gaiden 3 and Razor's Edge. Anyway, yeah, so when my health is full, why do I get a blue essence drop? That's bullshit. That's nice to get an essence drop when I need it, but I wish this game was a little bit more intelligent about knowing what you needed and giving you what you need, but maybe that's a conscious design choice for Master Ninja mode, because it's damn hard. So this looks like we're almost getting these rocket launcher guys killed. Got greedy there, didn't block. Okay, so now it's just marionette demons left. All we're gonna do on these guys is snipe them until we run out of arrows. The 360 Lunar UT has more range, but sometimes it won't kill these guys. I believe a UT with the Lunar traditional UT will kill them. Make sure you do your OT, because sometimes they won't be dead. So you just got to watch out for that. And here I'm just blind firing, knowing that I can depend on the blind fire to get kills. Just kind of watch out where you're positioned. You don't want to get attacked off screen. It's really feels bad. Oh, that was fucking close. Hate when that happens. That's gonna happen to you a lot. But as enemies, I don't really mind these enemies too much because they're a really good source of money, and they're easy to deal with UTs, except you have a lot at stake when you're this far into the test of Valor. So the sniping enemies. Now I'm gonna use a Lunar UT. Ooh. Mostly what they do, though, honestly, is that they'll fly across the screen and then they'll land right next to you. But don't always count on that, because sometimes they'll land on you. It's just, in my experience, they land next to you. They don't hit you. They land. Excuse me. Need some water. They land right next to you. But if you see them flying in, just release the charge. Don't wait. Don't try to verify if they're going to land on you or next to you, 'cause you're probably going to be dead. And I don't know why I have to finish them off with that OT right there. They should just be dead from the UT. So I'm kind of just managing my arrows, try not to use too many, because I wanted to. The last time, the one time when I almost defeated this, I told you guys earlier in the video, I had killed 99 of the enemies, and I had one marionette demon left, no arrows, no nimpo, and the fucking robotic bitch would not move out of this little arc that she was in, and I could not get over to her with any UTs, so I had to just go over to her and try to finish her off. And of course, she finished me off, and then I had wasted like 50 minutes of footage. So I said to myself, I'm not going to put myself in that position. I'm going to make sure I save at least 4 or 5 arrows so I can just take the last one out if she's going to spaz out and not come over to my charge. Because they're nothing doing. They're not hard when you're just fighting them, but when everything's on the line, they're the most dangerous thing you could possibly imagine. So, and it's not just enemy specific with that kind of reasoning. Whenever you have a lot at stake, you cannot make a mistake, or like I did, you'll die. Oh yeah, so a lot of times you'll get into that animation after one of your 360 UTs where they're doing their fire attack. All you need to do is press the Y button to finish them off. And wow, see upper dress I was so close. It's hard also to distinguish if they're in OT status. It's kind of interesting. They become a little dirtier. These dirty gals, but they get like dirt on them and dust and smoke residue from getting damaged. So it's pretty cool actually. I wish more enemies did that. And if they're having smoke fumes drifting up from their heads, it's obvious that they're in OT status, but sometimes I'm running to them so quickly that if I verify it incorrectly, and I'm going up to them and he's just twirling his staff and not stabbing them for an execution, and I'm getting almost killed, that's where some risk really starts developing. So I had to release my charge right there because it wasn't, these gals were not coming over to me. So we got one smoker over to the right, a couple of these guys here. Now I'm going to use some arrow UTs. You'll get a lot of money for doing this trial, but I did not save my data. I'm not going to continue on my campaign with nothing left. It's just ridiculous, but at least I got the achievement, and it's pretty cool. Also, if anyone knows, I'm curious why they're called like it's like a number. It's like a number of a color, like 2 of blue or 3 of red or 4 of yellow. What does that mean? I have no idea. I tried to look it up, but I guess I wasn't looking in the right places. Anyway, if anyone knows about the what that is alluding to, I would be really grateful. So, see, we have to finish her off. I don't know if she would die customarily, but I don't want any, part of her alive. We need to finish these ladies off quickly. So I'm going to save all my arrows for the last marionette demon, which is going to be a while. And this is a long trial, so you've got to have a lot of stamina. And a lot of your attacks, it's just not going to connect it like that. That was just a failure of a Lunar UT 360. So she's edging close, and just make sure you're observing where the other 2 are. Just don't get distracted and focus on one when you could have another one flying off screen right over to you. But generally, if they're in the distance, they're not going to come over to you. You'll see them kind of making their way over to you with that flying attack that they do, that twirling attack, where they stake themselves into the ground. Here's a kind of a dangerous situation. I had to see if I had enough range for that UT to connect, and fortunately it did connect. Make sure you're... I'm not sure if when they explode you need to guard. I would imagine that you do. It's like that for all the enemies in this game, so I don't see why it would be different for these guys. Anyway, just keep at it. We're mainly looking for these guys just to dwindle down in number. I'm going to finish this one off with an OT. Just get away from them. It's very imperative. See that right there? I don't know why that wasn't connecting. She must have been in OT status. But maybe she wasn't, you know? It's one of those things where I can't distinguish. It's just like with the water demons. I can't tell who's delimbed and who's not because their limbs don't have much definition and like sharp edges. Well, I shouldn't say that because they are all sharp edges, but their distinguishing features of their limbs, I can't tell when they're all in a group clustered around. But I think because they're red and maybe they're dripping red, I can't see. You know, with the gray ninjas, they're dripping red. It's easy to distinguish which guys are dripping blood. So I'm just looking for gals in the distance and just waiting for the time when I see one less, meaning that we're making these numbers decrease. So just don't take anything for granted. I mean, one of their spiral twirls across the screen, at my level of health, it would not kill me, but I would need to refill very promptly. I mean, I would have so little health left, it wouldn't be funny, and I'm sure it probably happens over here somewhere. Because I know I was getting really frantic at one point. But I mean, these enemies, you can basically let them come to you. It's pretty. I mean, it's not like they're the beastmen that from the last trial. And this is an enemy that you really have to get the feel of, and I do since I've played Sigma 2 and in this game so much that I'm very comfortable fighting this enemy. So let's see what they're doing. I was contemplating fast forwarding all this footage, but I said I'm not going to do that. I don't think people like that sometimes. Because these are such long videos, and I was just looking at the playlist for this video guide, and one of the videos from Chapter 3 is an hour and 52 minutes. Trust me, I don't sit in my chair for an hour and 52 minutes and then narrate. I do it in sessions, just very brief sessions. But I was behind, so I needed to finish this chapter up. And it looks like no one's coming to me yet. It's very dangerous when they're on both sides of you, especially when you can't see some of them. Like, this was a very dangerous situation. It's dangerous because I can't see much, and also because if I release the charge and it doesn't kill anybody, I gotta get the hell out of the way. So these are interesting tests of Valor. I don't believe that any are going to make me not ever like this game. And this is a great game. I think it's probably my favorite game ever, even over God of War. And that's saying a lot because I love that series. But I don't know. The combat in this game it just feels a little like more to it than God of War. But I love God of War. That's still one of my favorite franchises of all time too. So remember, when you're in the midst of that electric attack, you're not getting damaged. You just need to press the Y button. It's actually nice when that happens because you know that you can just get the insta kill going for yourself. So chopped off her head. Oh, I didn't chop her head off. She was in OT status though. So how many are left? 3 still. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so basically all I'm doing here is, like you've seen for the past 20-30 minutes of this trial, all I'm doing is just standing in one spot and then waiting for them to inch their way over to me, and then I'm releasing my charge. And if I have to finish them off, I'll just finish them off really quickly. It would be nice to have more arrows too, but 30 is the maximum number. It really gets crazy. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, the decision about to not give the player infinite arrows. Okay, here, see that one to the right's creeping up. I'm not sure what the one on the left is doing. There she goes. It's nice when they're just about like that. So she's into OT status. Kill her. Now, how many do we have left? 2, 3? Oh, when I was playing this, I was just saying, God, just let there be 2 for once, not 3. Then I'll know that I just have to kill 2. Ooh, ow, look at that shit. Damn. Fucking bitch. So many times getting this far and then getting torn to shreds by their attacks. This is a vicious enemy, it really is. I wanted to have the Talisman of Rebirth saved for this part, but things usually just worked out in such a way that these guys would usually get, ow, damn, that fucking damage. I did a video on my other channel on water demons. They take away about all your health, and they'll leave you one little sliver left, and I called it that damage, because there's this, I remarked on my Tomb Raider guide, which is no longer in existence, that there was this one dude who commented on my God of War 3 video, an uncommented version on my other channel, and one of the satyrs hit me and took away a huge amount of my health, and this one dude said, that damage. He didn't reference a time code, so I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like when the satyr hit you. Oh, okay. And that was probably the funniest comment I've ever read on any of my comments, and I also said I would have given that guy a copy of God of War 3 if I had one, but I already had a little giveaway and I gave it to someone else who I don't think follows my channel anymore, but a lot of people come and go. A lot of good supporters too on this channel. Also, never be shy to comment, even if you don't know too much about the game. We're all ignorant of something. You know, I don't know anything about Call of Duty or Dark Souls or, you know, anything like that. But it wouldn't stop me from commenting if I found something funny or if I was curious about something. And somebody also asked today, like, they said this is probably, they prefaced their question and they said, this is probably going to sound stupid. And I said, no, man, I don't call people stupid. It's not like me. It's jacked up. I only call a troll stupid. But those guys are just, you know, a troll's a troll. Oh, fuck. Damn marionettes. But yeah, I never diss anybody unless they're dissing first. And that's kind of self-defeating and pointless, but if someone criticizes me in a bad way, with malice in the comment, and I'm having a bad day, I'll just say "fuck you, bitch," and then probably block them and mark their comment as spam, which doesn't prevent that same user from making another account and then just becoming somebody else, as we can on the internet. But I don't know. That's what makes them a troll, I guess. Because you shouldn't need to make so many usernames because people hate you. It doesn't have to be that way either. You don't have to be hated. You can be liked. It's much better to have people like you, you know? Anyway, I'm not talking about the game, but this is just, you know, the same thing so much over and over again. And fortunately, my Xbox 360 has never froze. Like, whenever I've done like an hour-long victory and I'm heading back to the save point, you know, I would expect it to freeze like just when I'm getting to the save point or something after an hour-long victory. But actually, I wasn't even saving this kind of data. But I don't know. One time I turned it on, and then within like 10 minutes of my having turned it on, it froze. And then 30 minutes later, it froze again. It's so god-awful. I don't know what's going on. It's a brand new game. The system's less than a year old. But that just gives me one more reason to hate the Xbox 360. Oh, is this the last one? Might have been. No. We have one more. I think we have one more left. I think I tried to crotch shoot her. Yeah, I was trying to. I was trying to hit her in the crotch because I'm sick of these bitches. Of course I missed, and then of course this one hit home. That one hit home. So, thanks everybody for listening to my guide. I hope that it helps you clear this trial, and also I hope that it helps you obtain this Lives of the Thousand Gods, which is a very rare item. So we're going to head on back to the portal, say yes when it asks us if we want to leave, and then we're going to get our achievement. So everybody take care, and thanks for watching. So with that test of Valor cleared, here's our trophy. Trophy. I play the PlayStation so much that sometimes I say trophies, and sometimes I tell you guys to do input commands that are related to shapes, like square and triangle, circle and X. There's good reason for that. I was just playing a session of Ninja Gaiden 2, and I was on Chapter 7 because I just cleared this stage. And what am I doing here? I think I'm going back to do another battle that my new spawn over here is for some extra points. Is that what I was doing? Yeah. Anyway, I was just playing a session on Chapter 7, the Flying Fortress Daedalus, and I got pretty far into the level. Then all of a sudden the game froze. And these days I don't even yell like I used to. I just laugh because it's so shitty, you know? That's why that PlayStation, or excuse me, that Xbox 360, you gotta love it, right? But then I say to myself, no, you gotta fucking hate it. I'm sorry, but you know, to rage on the 360, but the goddamn thing freezes every single day for me. Every day. Sometimes, like I said, did I say it earlier in this video or another video? Sometimes it freezes 3 or 4 times. There's nothing wrong with it. I leave it on my desk, properly ventilated, and it's a brand. I bought it last summer for Gears of War 3, and what else? Yeah, it's a real problem. So, and I don't know if it's unique because I haven't been playing anything else other than this, but I seem to recall other games freezing on me too. So I don't think it's just this game. But I don't have any issues on the PlayStation ever in regards to that. Not that I can think of. I mean, it may have frozen sometimes, but I don't remember any incidents that have stretched on this long for me and making me have a console that's a piece of shit. Anyway, the Test of Valor is still activated because obviously I didn't go back and I didn't save my data. This is my other campaign, so that's the reason the Test of Valor is still over there. But I guess I have some more time to talk about the 360. Someone actually remarked that one time that he said something like, yeah, we all know you hate the 360. You might as well not say it. It lowers the quality of your guides, and I took that into serious consideration. But you know what? If my console's freezing, it's freezing, and I can't do anything about it. You know, it's a brand new system. I just don't like the Xbox 360 because, like I've said, it's too loud. I had this game on the hard drive installed, and the description actually on the Amazon website when I bought this, it said the machine is whisper quiet. It's the biggest lie I've ever heard. Now, if they said that about the PlayStation 3, then that would not be a lie, because that thing is whisper quiet. It's very silent. Anyway, so yeah, but as much as I hate the 360, I love this game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's just a shame that it's on this system. Anyway, no, I think it's cool that it's on. I don't know. I don't like having a console that doesn't work. Anyway, so you're gonna notice a little glitch over here. See the window? The window pane was it wasn't on there. It's still there, but you can't see it because I'm gonna crash through it over here. Save it before and after this fight. 'Cause this is a tough one. So this is kind of, I don't know why this happened, but I got an on-landing charge right there. So you can get an on-landing charge. It's not like you need it, because even if you fail to get an on-landing charge, you'd have plenty of time to get off a charge here. A fight like this is never enjoyable for me. When I'm playing water demons, when I'm fighting these water demons, I'm never having fun playing the game. They're so aggressive and so cheap and hard to deal with. I'd rather be fighting like six IS ninjas at a time while throwing incendiary shurikens at me. Because it's hard to get iframes on these guys here. I mean, like, the best thing you could do is do a wind path, and then because I could do the Azuna drop twice and just take care of these guys pretty easily, but no one wants to watch me just doing Azuna drops all the time, and I don't want to do that all the time. So I'm just using Nimpo, and I'm using just incendiary shurikens to clear this room as fast as I can. Towards the end of the level, when there's just like 3 or 4 of these guys, well, I think there's 4. I think there's only 3 at a time towards the end of the level, and that's something that's fine. I could handle that much because I actually want to get better at fighting these enemies, but I can't do it when there's like 10 of them fighting me at the same time. Anyway, okay, so there's the bronze key. Okay, here's the thing about the reason why I say to go back and save it after this is because I always try to make sure I get UT kills in the Lycanthropes down over here. And whenever you're doing, it's always risk, and I don't like doing that fight over again. I want my cake and I want to eat it too. It's one of those things, so you can do that when you're playing games, at least, not in real life, but see these guys, what's for dinner, motherfucker? That's what I was thinking when I was playing this. There's some cool like ham hocks and stuff on the side in this kitchen area. I wish there was more enemies in this area actually, because this is a cool place to fight. I got some nice tricks for this level too, which I wanted to incorporate in my guide last time, and I just saw those. Those were pretty cool. Like the butcher area down here, the slaughterhouse. But Big Benedict's doing the slaughtering these days. So there's Life of the Gods. I brought it up. It's number 1. But that is actually number 10 of 18. So, save it over here. Now we're going to go to the next fight. It's going to trigger when we open this door. So I just open it and then charge up. The guys are going to come from the right, actually. Just whenever you see them, release your charge. There's no risk. We just saved it. So, don't even worry about that. The one little mistake that I did over here was I grabbed the chest that has the Herb of Spiritual Life. And since I have 3 of them, and it would have given me money, except for the fact that I had some damage on myself, so it just gave me the orbs, and I should have, that was pretty much, I lost out on getting 5,000 orbs, because I could have gone and saved it, or I don't know what I could have done, but I know I could have got that 5,000 if I had worked the system a little bit better, but I didn't really care, because I've got over 400,000 essence, and I'm going to get even more on the next level. I'll tell you where there's a glitch. Oh yeah, another glitch. A bunch of glitches over here. Check this out. I went over here to spawn everybody at once. Look at this. Weird. I'm like, what the fuck? My brain couldn't comprehend what happened so instantaneously right there. I'm like, where am I? You have to rewind that to see it. I opened the door and it put me, I think, like at the entrance of the other room, and like I was kicking it in midair. It was really weird. But I just wanted to trigger all these guys and fight them, and I also wanted to see if there's any lag, and there's not. So, as much as I say I hate the 360, I think it's a really good. I actually like the fact that it's on. This game's on the 360. It's just that I have a lot of problems using the console, and I have some issues with it. But I mean, playing the PlayStation so much, it is refreshing to go and play the Xbox, and it's the different interface and stuff like that. In this area, I think you should get a yellow orb for killing every chair, for smashing every chair and destroying all the couches in the other room. They should give you 200 in essence. Well, the way that we did in the last chapter when we were smashing the crates before the first save point, it's a destructible object, and you should get money for it. It's really bizarre. But if you want to see something even more bizarre, check out what I do with these water demons in the next area. I edited out me saving it, so I'm not going to... Check this out. Equip the Dragon Sword just to give you more extension on your dash. So, open the door, that spawns the water demons, and then some of them are going to follow you, but the majority of them are going to get trapped over here, and it's so hilarious. The last time I did this guide, I wasn't able to demonstrate this, and I actually found out about it later. And I was like, I wish I could have incorporated this into my guide because it's just so funny. and it just shows you how many of these water demons are actually existing in this spawn. So I love this area. I love this fighting arena in here. So just take these guys out, and what happens is there's got to be at least like 25 of these water demons, and what happens is if you go into this area over here, the other ones are going to get trapped. You see their red faces over here? Look at these guys. I left this in real time too. They get trapped because these are either the guys who from the original spawn who were basing their movements on mine, and then they just got trapped here, or these were new spawners from the ones I killed, and then they went in the direction of me, which is over to this way. So they didn't go. They couldn't go around. The AI couldn't handle the path that I took. So this goes on for a while, and I get my 1050 per kill on all these guys. But it's just like, look at those faces. It's just like the faces of evil murderers who want to kill you pronto and with no remorse. That's the face I'm looking at right now. So, I also have another little trick about the next area. I exploit one aspect of it, and then with the IS ninjas, because they get into a similar problem, and you can exploit both spawns, but I wanted to just show the first spawn of like the IS ninjas, and then I just wanted to tell you guys that you can do it on the second spawn. It'll occur after this, after we get to the save point. But I wanted to just show, I just wanted to example one of the instances of it, and then I didn't want to take advantage of it on the second fight that occurs in the library, which you can completely manipulate to your favor and do this kind of thing. But it's a tad bit different. But this is just payback time for these guys whom I hate with very much fervor and hatred. So look how many of these guys we would have to fight. It's like, that room of 30 that we just came from. There's got to be at least 30 of these guys, because I slayed like 5 of them over in this area when they were running around. And I'm shooting them all in the head. I don't think they could hit you, but I seem to recall maybe that I was getting hit one time when I did this a guide a couple months ago. Just don't trust that tail. It's devastating. That thing will really damage you severely. So, was that the last guy? Might have been the last guy. If you're curious about when they die, look at their tail. That tail animation subsiding onto the floor. No, we have another couple of guys left. Is this just one guy? Or yeah, maybe just one guy. And we're actually going to be coming full circle to this area, and we're going to be reacquainting ourselves with that door and seeing the blood spatter that we just caused by shooting all those guys in the heads. So, this I could have saved it first and then got the 5,000 essence, but oh well. I really didn't want to redo that section over again. So now we're going to the. Why is that door open? That's odd. It usually isn't open. That door is usually closed. So I'm wondering if that little glitch that happened when if you remember when I was dealing with those beastmen, I was wondering if maybe that caused that door to stay open, but that's really bizarre. Anyway, so this was the room. That's on the other side. That's where the water demons were. See that? The blood splatter right there. Maybe it's when you come into this area now where the door's closed. I don't know. I don't think I moved the camera over there. Anyway, just hit the save point before you go up all the way to the library, though. That's the thing. Okay, after we hit the save point up here, I'm going to show you a little trick you can do if you want to maximize your essence. What you do is spawn the IS ninjas and then run all the way down here and then watch as they get trapped by angles that don't work to their favor. Also, check out their eyes. It's really bizarre. Now, when you open the door to the library, you can also lure all the IS ninjas, and they'll do the same exact thing. It's just that you're going to have to kill the mages. A couple of the mages will come out into this area, but wherever you move, even if you're killing the mages on the bottom floor, where the other save point is, these guys won't move. I mean, they're not going to get untrapped. So I thought I would just demonstrate it here, and then I'm not going to take advantage of it in the next area because I want an actual fight without like fiends like water demons and stuff like that. So anyway, now we're heading back up here, and we're going to get the spawn occurring when we open the door. So I'm going to head on in here and do some damage with my skill. I don't think I took any damage this whole time. This battle, I don't think this battle I took any damage. No, I could have reversed wind out of that. No. I guess it's too hard not to take damage in this game. Having a little fun with that guy. Then I'm going to go get the Herb of Spiritual Life, which is behind this bookcase right here. That's a crystal skull. If you have the skull, it gives you that right there. So now we're going to jump up here and do some chimney sweeping. But it's actually going to... I didn't know there's water... Are there water demons in here? Yeah, this is an area where the water demons were. I forgot... I thought there were IS ninjas in here instead of water demons. And that just goes to show you how much I think that the water demons are much harder than the IS ninjas. That's because if I had remembered that there were water demons in here, I would have saved it before jumping up that chimney. And if I knew there was IS ninjas in here, I wouldn't have saved it. That just goes to show you how comfortable I am fighting those IS ninjas and how uncomfortable I am fighting the water demons. Anyway, this spawn right here, I'm not really sure. I think they all charge you, but you may have to run into the threshold of that room. I think this might have been the area where I took no... I was going to say an area where I took no damage, but I think this was the area where I had like one little sliver of life left, but I was actually pushing it, seeing if I could survive. And I cast an info there, which... where was it? I could have used a healing item over here, but I was so dead set on not using an item because I didn't want to have to use one when I knew that a save point was right around the corner. Literally. I mean, there's nothing after... If I just can kill these last guys... see, when they're throwing incendiary shurikens at you, if it's just one of them, it's okay. I think when it's multiple of them throwing incendiary shurikens, that's when you cannot guard them anymore. I think so. But maybe not. Okay, so now we're going to come up here, hit the save point. Okay, what you need to do here is get an on-landing charge, and preferably have the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang. See this on-landing charge that I got? It expedited my charge, and then I slayed these guys here. Did I get it? Yeah, I got all the kills. I didn't have to do anything. So now head on up, and then that's an optional battle, but you might as well get the essence. Is that... Yeah, that's optional. You can always just pole jump over here, and you don't have to do it. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the store, and this is the last store of the game. It's actually, if you didn't know that, if you did not know that, you might be in trouble because I don't know. Okay, that orb right there, I'm not sure how much that gives you. But sometimes you're not going to get an orb. That might have been like a $10,000 orb. So if that's the case, you might want to double check that and manipulate those chests, because that would be ideal than getting 2 boxes versus two boxes of shitty ghost fish rather than that chest. Okay, so now we have another battle down here. I would advise saving before and after this. It's more crucial to save it after, though, because there's no checkpoint anywhere, and there's a couple of waves of enemies you have to dispatch. But yeah, I mean, look how wonderful this weapon works. It's really nice. It takes care of everybody. I love when the enemy just stands there and does his growl. That just makes me have more time so that I can charge up. I love this game. I love charging attacks. Man, the guy who made this is a genius. Really is. I love Miyamoto. Is that his name? Oh no, that's not him. I can't remember his name. Sorry about that. Miyamoto's the Nintendo fucker, huh? I'm sorry if I sounded ignorant there. I don't know. I was gonna say Muramasa. for a second there. I didn't know. I know it starts with an M. Oh, I don't know what his name is. Oh no! It's not. It's a Itagaki or something like that. No offense to the guy. Hell, I would kiss that guy's feet if I could. He made this terrific game that's one of the best games of all time, and he deserves his colleagues to have that shitty Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge shit, because that game is pure trash. And for anybody who really loves a game like this, they're going to agree with me. It's pure trash, Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. I thought it was good at the time, because I'd never played this game. Now playing this game, I realize how much functionality this game has, and how much this unresponsiveness that is in that game. But, oh yeah, I wanted to say something about the UTs for the Dragon Spawn Tiger's Fang. Be very cautious about doing UTs on these enemies, because there is a very long set of recovery frames when you end your UT, which you might be able to shuriken cancel out of, but I have been killed many times, and I'm actually kind of foolish for using this weapon. The weapon you want to use on these guys is the Lunar. It doesn't have that long recovery frame, because you'll be ending your UT. You'll just be standing there vulnerable, and these guys will slam you with a tail attack. And that actually happened a lot of times in the previous chapter on that huge wave before the final save point. So this chest over here, I believe this one, I think that was 5,000 in essence, because it will give you an herb of spiritual life. So save our data. Now I'm gonna show you guys how to fight the water demons. I'm not gonna do any cheap tactics. I mean, I might throw a couple of daggers, but there's a couple of spawns of these guys. Oh yeah, I remember what I did. I trigger. I think I may have beheaded one of those guys, but what I wanted to do was just spawn all of them, and then I want to go back to the save point, and then just fight them by the save point, so I can just save my data and not have to run back. I mean, I'm going to run back anyway. Might as well just run back one time over here instead of 2 times. And when they're jabbing at you with like that pincer attack, that's a great opportunity. See that one right there? It was off screen right there, but it's a really good time to parry at that precise time. You cannot parry the tail slash. It's mostly that pincer jab where they put both of their claws together. That's a perfect opportunity to counterattack. Really, you should really counterattack with the X button though, because see that one right there? That's the counterattack I was talking about. Because the Y button is the launcher parry, and I honestly couldn't marry that into an Azuna drop with any success on these guys, but these guys are just so vicious. It's incredible. There we go. This guy would give me a real big problem, actually. So finish off with an Azuna drop. Oh, he got up. Okay, yeah. It takes two Azuna drops. Wind path off his head. Then I did that move, whose name I can't recall right now, but you just hold the Y button without charging, and it's a very strong blade slash. There might even be some more spawners. Oh, okay, I know what happened. I got the spawners, and then they spawned. I tried to kill them, and then when I reloaded from the save point, they were not here, as happens in this game. They unspawned. That's why I said no deliberate unspawning of enemies in my in this guide's description and all the videos. So here, my mentality was to hell with charging, because it's pointless to try to charge in this kind of environment with so little room to move around. So that right there, that orb that I got, that was $6,000 from a. That would have been me having to buy one of those for $6,000. So that was good. And I only got one of those though. Shame rather, but it's okay. So that took a long time, and I sped it up because no one wants to watch me killing flying demons. But here's Wolf. What I like to do on Wolf is the evade you need to do is move the left analog stick to the the 2 o'clock hand on the clock or the 10 o'clock hand. I don't think that. I think forward evasions are the only thing that works. Those forward diagonal evasions at the times I indicated on the clock. If you're at the 6 o'clock position and if he's at the 12 o'clock position, I also take the fixed camera off here just because I want to be able to see him when he's charging me, and I can't really if it's fixed camera. So see, you just evade, and then look at all the damage I do with just 4 Y hits. See, okay, so you could also, I really like using this combo to kill this guy better. To do 360 lunar, 360 lunar UTs. I actually was practicing, and I got a little bit better at doing the input like right before you land. Because you need to get, it has to be an on landing, I believe. It has to be on landing. Yeah, obviously. It has to be an on landing right there. I think I did it right there. Yeah, and then we took this guy down. I think I just jabbed him a couple times to finish him off with the Y button. But no checkpoint after Wolf, so you have to be extremely cautious about this confrontation here. It's inexcusable to have no checkpoints after a final boss, and then there's this little skirmish here. So throw all the Nimpo you have at these guys, even though I know that the Inferno is not the best to use at these guys, but I was desperate. I didn't really want to go into the menu, and I guess I was a little lazy too, but I'm throwing all my daggers here and just taking care of these guys because I don't want to fight Wolf again. Who would? That's like having to, in Sigma 1, having to refight the boss every time by going all the way up to him, and there's no checkpoint. It's just so awful. Anyway, so that's the last thing to do. Just don't underestimate this place. You don't want to refight a boss over again. It's, like I said, inexcusable. I don't know why that this game does it too. It's thoughtless game making. No consideration for the player. So I'm gonna head on out of here. I'll see you guys in Chapter 7. Just take care of business here, and just sunder limbs and execute as per normal custom. And then I'll see you in the next chapter. Thanks everybody for watching, and take care. Thanks.